And so it is to be so fully here in this moment. That your true nature is the presence of this moment. It is this moment, this glorious moment, in its absolute fullness. What is who you are. Perhaps it brings attention to recognize how many threads are meandering into the external world. How attached are you into the external world? Because every single thread that is like a tendril going outwards stops you being here fully. And only when you are here absolutely, utterly, fully, are you resting in your true nature. Even a single thought, a single thread, and just notice there's more than a single thought, right? Every tendril is pulling you away from this moment. Every tendril, every thought, every want, every desire, every need, every thread that is an egocentric pattern in consciousness pulls you away from yourself. And so on one hand, everything that you are longing for, you already are and is here in its totality. Everything that you are longing for is right here in this moment. This moment is the wholeness of your true nature. There is not a single thing out there that you need. What a funny conundrum that the mind thinks that there's so much out there that is needed, wanted, and desired. It is imagined that there's so many things out there that are important, things that I have to do, duties, responsibilities, jobs, roles, responsibilities. But none of it matters an iota to your eternal nature that is right here now. So usually immediately the mind will come in and say, oh, well, that's very easy for you to say, but I have a family, but I have a job, but nothing, but absolutely nothing. Everything takes care of itself. Everything that you think you are responsible for, everything that you think you have to do, every role that you are playing in the world, it's all nonsense. It's just an idea that your mind is hanging on to. It's not true. It is not to say that when you are resting in true nature, that all these things that seem important to the me, it's not that they disappear. It's just that they go on without you. Your family, your job, whatever it is that you think cannot be left alone, it all goes on without you. It goes on without you because you never ever have been involved in it. It's just a thought. It's just a belief. It's just these self-important concepts. And they all act as distraction. They all act as distraction. So, this moment is your true nature. This moment, all of it, is the great glory of who you are. It's not about being here and creating a spiritual mood that includes some parts and excludes others. No, it's about a depth of relaxation and being here so fully in the shining glory of your own nature. But you are not doing anything. You just are, just as you are, simply here. To be here so fully is to have no evaluation or analysis of this moment, to want nothing from this moment, to expect nothing from this moment, to imagine nothing about this moment. to have no relationship with past or future, to be here so fully that you are this moment here now, that this moment here now is all there is. There's nothing else. There's not even, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, what if, nothing. There's just this moment here now. The fullness, the effulgent luminosity of this moment is shining. It's shining its wholeness. It's shining its richness. And it's offering itself completely and utterly to you. Will you say yes? Will you say yes? Will you say yes to what you are longing for? Will you say yes to everything that you imagine that is desired and needed from the external? Will you take the risk to find out that this moment is deeper and more profound than the mind could ever imagine? That everything that is longed for and looked for in the external is only ever a watered down version of your very own self. It's a soppy second, a crazy third, and an out of tune fourth, right? It's always watered down. Everything that you are longing for is the effulgence of your own heart. It's the radiance and glory of your own nature, just as you are here now. There is nothing missing. There is nothing lacking. There is nothing to have opinions about. There's no one to have an opinion. It's just to be here so fully. And when there is a noticing of those tendrils that are pulled into the external, it's not to create more thought concepts about those. Oh, bad me, bad, naughty me, thinking about the external world. Even that doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. You're not even trying to stop the mind. Not even. You couldn't if you tried. Let's face it. We've tried. You cannot stop the mind. You cannot stop the mind. You can just be so fully present here now, watching the mind, aware of the mind, but not trying to do anything, not trying to get anything. Give it all up. Give it up. Give up the trying. Give up the effort. Give up the wanting, and just be yourself. Just be yourself. It is a relaxation into a depth of openness and emptiness that is pure acceptance. So it's not got any ideas about what makes this moment a good moment, a spiritual moment, a moment of being. There are no ideas about it. Being is not an idea. Being is not a concept. Being is your true nature when you are so fully present here now, being yourself. All ideas of being fall away because you just are. You just are. So then the great glory is there's nothing to do, there's nothing to understand, there's no teaching, there's no instructions. So here now, it is just to receive the resonance of your true nature. As these words come, it is to feel the alive resonance that recognizes truth, because that truth is your true nature. So the me loves instructions, the me loves to follow along, and the me loves to analyze itself to find out how it's doing. It loves to try to measure things. But all of that is a distraction. All of that is part of the illusion. And this moment is offering the incredible, glorious possibility of seeing right through the illusion, putting your hand right through that which seems to be solid, putting your hand right through it and recognizing, wow, there is nothing here. There is nothing here. Not even you, not even you, not even little old you. How is that possible, says the mind? How is that possible? I can feel my skin and my bones and my solidity. I can look around this room and I can see all my things in my house, all the things that matter to me, all the things that are precious to me. That's the illusion. Isn't it magnificent? What a magnificent illusion that takes nothing and out of nothing creates qualities, creates elements, and then creates the appearance of the physical world that seems to be solid. Out of nothing, the appearance of creation, that what we come to find out is not even created. The uncreated, non-existent creation. You are made out of that. What is that? That is bliss. That is bliss. So, what we have to come to is the discovery of bliss. And when we meet our own bliss, the bliss of being, we recognize a quality, a substance, a frequency of true nature that gives us all of the information, all of the wisdom, the divine intelligence that is necessary to know yourself in and as absolutely everything. It also gives us the incredible intelligence to understand the subtleties, not exactly the hows, because that's a frequency of mind. And yet there is within the divine intelligence an ability to know absolutely everything about yourself, but not by the mind. You cannot gather this knowledge and pop it in your back pocket. You cannot gather this knowledge and make a file out of it. Things I know about myself. No, because it's not really here in the way that the mind thinks it's here. It's only here now. So when you are here now, you are yourself here now. When you are fully here now, the being is an empty, contentless, spacious, free, infinite, eternal, vast being that is everywhere, knowing itself, knowing itself, knowing only itself. And you are the being that is knowing itself. Your knowing is the knowing. The feeling of your existence is the existence, the one and only existence. Your existence is exactly the same as my existence, and his existence, and her existence, and their existence. It's one existence. It's one knowing. It's one oneness, one heart, one unconditional flow of incredible, blissful love, in love with itself, dancing in and as everything. So you see, there's nothing here to understand. We're not here to be a me, following instructions, ticking the boxes. Am I getting it right? Am I getting it right? Am I there? Am I there? Because that is the illusion itself. It's a boom, kapow kind of thing, right? Just suddenly, 1 minute, you think you're a person and you're trying to get it. And suddenly the moment has exploded into the timeless now. And who you are is not the person that you thought you were. Boom, kapow, right? It's just all gone. It's all gone. It's all gone. And yet, great glory, here you are. Here you are. Here you are. But now you are yourself. Now you are yourself, just being here, just as you have always been, undressed of the costume, undressed of the concepts, beliefs, and ideas. Here you are naked, naked as this moment, naked as this holy moment, just as you are. You are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the story, you are not the drama, you are not the play of karma. There is nothing to fix here. There are no wounds. There is no one to have any wounds. There is no one to have any karma. You are beyond, before all of that. There's nothing to resolve. It is just to be yourself here now. So we can talk in terms of a progressive idea, right? Of being in the world, being the person, how to deal with the world, how to work with the world, but in a way that's a kind of mediocre place to be hanging out, because we're kind of pointing to the being and we're kind of playing in the world. So let's just boom, kapow, explode the world and be in the truth, fully in the truth. When you know yourself fully as the truth, then we can meander and we can play in the illusion. We can dance in the illusion because we are free in the illusion, right? This is the glory. We are completely free to dance in the illusion, but we know it's an illusion. This is the freedom. The freedom is knowing that it's an illusion. And then you can dance and flow. You can slip in and out between the cracks of everything that wants to hook you and gets a little sticky, all of those little sticky knots. You can weave in and out, flow in and out, because you're completely free. You're so smooth that nothing can stick to you. You're so smooth and free that nothing can stick to you. You can move in the play of the world. You can dance on the surface of life, but nothing can stick to you. Nothing can hook you. This is the glory of the true nature. And it doesn't matter in this moment what the mind has to say about all of this. What you get to see is all of the meanderings of the mind that come forward. It doesn't matter. We're not making them wrong. But what comes forward? Oh, well, I've got this job to do and I've got these things to do. And I'm not where you're speaking of. I'm not there yet. Yet? Hook to the future. Hook. So it's just to watch everything that sticks to you. It's like those little bubbles, you know, when you're walking through the forest and you come out and your pants are covered in those little sticky bubbles. You never even saw them, but they're stuck all over you. So it's like those. You move in the world and you find out you've got these things. They're stuck all over you. When you're free being yourself, you just see them. You don't get upset about it. You don't make a song and a dance and a story about it. You don't need to analyze it. You don't need to take a moment. You recognize you are the moment. So what do? You just pick it up, shake it off, shake it off. Recognize that you're free. You're free. You're completely free. It's not serious. It's fun. It's pure joy. It's pure happiness, right? So if you're feeling a little grumpy, a little sticky, it's okay. You might find me really annoying right now. That's okay. It's perfect. The thing is that you being annoyed, it doesn't stick to me. I don't care. I'm just happy. I'm just pure joy. I'm just reflecting the joy that you are to you. This is your happiness. This is your bliss. This is your bliss inviting you into the bliss of your very own nature, right? It's not me giving you something. It's your reflection. You're looking in the mirror. You made a really good choice this morning. Did you go to the grocery store or did you go to Satsang? I think I'll go to Satsang. Beautiful. It's a mirror. It's a mirror. You get to look in the mirror at your own blissful, happy nature, right? What a treat. What a treat. Nothing matters. Nothing matters the way that you think it does, right? So you are lightness. You are fun. You are joyful. You are happiness. You are smooth. You are smooth. Whatever the mind says, I'm not there. I'm not flowing in that same way that you're speaking of. I'm feeling a little cranky. It doesn't matter because you're not that. You're not that mind. You're not that body that's feeling a little stiff. You're not that body. You're not that body that's got any kind of ailments. You're completely free. You are the light that is radiant, the radiant light shining, shining, shining. Okay, here we go. Yes, that's who you are. That's who you are. So as these words come, you just receive the resonance of your own happiness. You receive your own joyfulness. You receive the bliss of being. You receive the resonant frequency of the truth of your own nature. If you think there's a me, find out who that one is, right? Who is that me? Who is that one? Who is that one that's feeling a little cranky? Who is that one that's feeling a little sticky, right? That one that is resisting their own happiness, their own nature, the beauty of this moment. Who is that one? It is not to make a great exploration out of it. It is just to come to this moment. Who is that one? You feel the quality of your own presence. You feel your own presence here now. Maybe you come to your own presence and boom kapow, you're everywhere, you're infinite. But maybe you come to your presence and you feel like a body. You feel like a mind. You feel a little stuck, right? So you don't go towards the story. You don't get involved in the story. Definitely not, right? You just come to the feeling, I'm here. Before I am cranky, I am stuck, I'm a failure, I'm trying too hard and I'm not getting it. Before all of those words, just be here. I am, I am, I am, I am. Just be here now. Feel your own presence. And even if the feeling of your own presence feels to be very identified and stuck at the singular point of your body, stuck in the maze of the mind, it's just to feel, I exist, I am, just here, now. Whatever words feel like the avenue, the portal that bring you to this moment. This is where it takes vigilance not to follow the habits, to get involved with the mind, not to follow those tendrils out into the world, not to follow the story. Because let's face it, the story of the human condition is very compelling because it's conditioned. It's very compelling to follow the limiting thoughts, the limiting beliefs. It's very compelling. Very compelling for the me to be miserable. Right? Let's laugh at that. Let's laugh at that. It's very compelling for the me to be miserable. It's not unkind. It's not unkind. It's just recognizing every me likes to have a few miserable moments. It's just part of the nature of the human. The human is conditioned, and when the conditioning is playing and the egocentric patterns are coming forward, the me can feel a little sorry for itself, right? It happens, and it's okay. But it's not who you are. You're not confined or limited by that. You're not identified in any way with that one. So we're just pointing to all the possible ways to see through that illusion, right? So instead of following the story, recognizing that it can be very sticky, it can be a sticky knot to be miserable. That cycle, that maze of the mind going round and around and around, it can be very, very sticky. But it takes humility and vigilance to not be pulled by that, to stay completely still as the aware, witnessing being that is watching that. So don't let the mind jump right in and say, well, I can't find the witness, I can't find that, right? Look how quick it is. Look how quick misery is to try to jump in. Look how quick misery is, right? Let's catch that robber. Let's shine the light on that robber, because that robber is so quick to come in and rob you from, right, this bliss, this happiness, this joy that is your true nature. Say no, 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 no to the robber. Say no to the robber and yes to yourself. Just be here now. So if there's a feeling of being a little stuck, it's just to come to the I am presence, to feel the simple existence of being here now. This is the escape hatch. It doesn't do something in the mind. It doesn't work in the realm of the mind. It just immediately shifts the perspective so that where you are looking from is a vaster perspective, right? You're the witnessing consciousness. You can see the mind. You're not trapped by the mind. You can see the thoughts, the story, the conditioned patterns that want to hook you. But when you are vaster, you are not hooked. But then it takes this vigilance and humility to remain, and stay as that which is watching. Who is that one? Who is that one? Who is that I? You are not the character. You are not the person. You are not limited in any way by that costume that you are wearing, right? You are light, sparkling, glimmering. You are happiness. You are happiness dancing. You are the bliss of being. You can wear your costume without being burdened, without being weighed down by it. You can wear it like a translucent veil where your light is shining and the love that is the radiant flow of your heart is beaming. It's not finding wrong and right. It's not getting sucked in by the cycle of sorrow, the cycle of karma, the cycle of misery. You are wearing your costume lightly. You are wearing your costume lightly because your true nature is such power and such a beaming, radiant source that you couldn't possibly be burdened. You couldn't possibly have your light dimmed by anything that is playing on the surface of life. So as we come to the presence of being, as we come to the presence, you feel your true nature shining. You feel your true nature as the presence that is open, that is empty. The feeling of yourself just being here now is empty of all content. It's unbounded. Unbounded, it has no limits. It's not contained by the body or the thoughts in any way. You are an unlimited flow. You are everywhere. You are nowhere. You are openness. You are emptiness. You are freedom itself. You are not someone who is free or looking for freedom. You are the blissful freedom of being, ever present, ever open, ever illumined in your true nature. And these words are just an invitation to recognize what is always here, so that the play of the world doesn't act as this burden, that it doesn't weigh on you, that you don't take it on and feel like you've got to fix it or do something with it. You can be this smooth flow, just slipping in and out of all situations, all interactions, all dynamics. You slip in, you slip out. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. So your true nature is this outstretched hand that welcomes you, that welcomes you. It is to recognize that there is no one here to get this. You cannot get it right and you cannot get it wrong. If there is a feeling of not getting it, find out who is that one that wants to get it, right? Because there we uncover a want, we uncover a desire, we uncover a sticky knot of identification. Come just to the I am, just to the I am, and be free. Free yourself through your own humility and your own vigilance, to not get pulled in by those sticky knots. I am, here now, the presence of being, just as you are, the presence of being. Even if the feeling of your presence here now feels limited, it is to stay with it. Again, that thought will come in. Well, it doesn't feel unlimited. Stay with it. Have the humility to stay with the presence, to keep coming to the now, the now, the now. Use whatever words, whatever is needed to bring you to this moment. Whatever is required to bring you to this moment. And if the wave of misery is so big that it's just taking you out and you're being tossed around on the shore, then let it be so. Let it be so. Watch yourself. Watch yourself. There I am, little old me, being tossed around on the shore, tossed around, feeling sorry for myself. Just be tossed around for a while. You can be absolutely sure that at some moment, the timeless surrender will happen. Because it's always here now. It's always here now, right? Everything has its perfect moment of surrender. Everything that feels to hook you, within that hook, within that grace-filled moment, within that grace-filled, crazy, sticky knot of a situation, is the moment of surrender. The moment of surrender is already in there. How do we know that? Because there's only now. And this moment here now is a perpetual surrender of the self into itself. So even if the mind says, surrender is not here, I feel stuck, I'm hooked, I'm lost, it is to recognize what is aware of that. What is aware of that? The possibility of surrender is always here now. It's always here now. Your happiness is the other side of the surrender. Your joy is the other side of the surrender, because the surrender is the collapse of that conditioned pattern It's the collapse of an egocentric pattern into the remembering of its divine nature. Surrender comes, human condition falls away, divine light shines. Happy, joyful being. Free, free of karma, free of being the wounded one, free of being the one that needs to fix this moment. Suddenly, you are the timeless moment. You are the eternal now, ever free, ever illumined in your true nature. There's nothing to learn here. There's nothing to hang on to. There's nothing to remember except yourself. But that remembering happens not by the mind grasping on, putting out tendrils, right? The last thing you want to do here is put out tendrils. Don't take any notice of me. Don't take any notice of me at all. Just receive this moment. Just flow with this moment. Be yourself. Be yourself. The remembering happens through the receiving of the resonance of truth. As soon as you recognize a resonance of something that feels like truth, it could feel like a yes, an aha, just a knowing, just a knowing. As soon as that is recognized, it is to fall into that. Keep the attention so fully with the knowing of the heart. The knowing of the heart is you being yourself, not being someone, being no one, being the unbounded being. As soon as you are being, the feeling of yourself is everywhere, boundless, open, equanimous, joy. Don't be looking for an experience that exactly fits the words that are spoken. This too can be a trap. Don't be looking for an experience, because experience comes and goes. It is just to be here, just to be here. You will start to feel more animated. You will start to feel more alive. The resonance is nothing that the mind is used to. It's an alive knowing, and the alive knowing is everywhere. It's a recognition. Sometimes it will bring an enlivening, which feels like it could even be in the body. But when you actually really feel it, is it in the body or is it outside of the body? In, out, in, out. Is there any difference? No, because the feeling is everywhere. The feeling isn't defined. It's not at any location. You are infinite and unbounded, right? You are the presence. You are the presence. You are the freedom. You are the presence that is ever still. You are not moving. You are not the play of the world. You are not your body that is ever changing. You are not the mind that is ever changing. You are the presence that is eternally still and unmoving. We could say this infinite field of silent being, the presence, it's not moving, and yet it's wildly alive. It's alive with its own knowing. It's flowing in its own knowing. Sometimes you will feel only the stillness. Sometimes you will feel the flow more. It's not to look for something that you're not finding. It's to be with what you are finding, right? Don't let the mind trick you into looking for experience. Don't let the mind trick you into looking for something that is not here. It is to recognize what is here and be with what is here. Be in the celebration, in the tasting of your own sweet, blissful nature, just as it is. If every word doesn't resonate, that's okay. It's not going to, because all of these words are for everyone, right? You just find where the resonance comes and then taste your sweetness in that, presence of being is eternally still and unmoving. It is a knowing that is your knowing of your divine nature. Has nothing to do with the mind. It is so free and blissful and happy and joyful because it's not stuck to anything. It's not stuck anywhere. It's not stuck to trying or efforting. It's not stuck to wanting or needing. This is freedom. Freedom is not stuck in any way. Freedom just is. And you are this freedom. This is the purity and simple joy of your own effervescent, shimmering, glimmering heart. It is yourself just being exactly as you are. You do not have to worry in this moment how to embody this, how to live this. What about my life? What about my family? What about the world? In this moment, you do not have to worry about anything. Those are just habitual distractions. All you have to be concerned with is your own self, because your own self is the freedom from all worry, all the cycling of suffering. Being yourself is the freedom from that. It's not a progressive journey, okay? Let's get this really clear here. It's not a progressive journey of someone that is making nano movements in order to become yourself. No, that it is not. If you play the game of the progressive journey, you will likely never get freed of that. You have to see that this is not a progressive journey. The progressive journey is just part of the illusion. It's a story for the mind. It's a story for the mind, and it's attached to an idea of a future. Anywhere that you are buying this story, you are cycling in the mind. Okay, so what is this? What is this? This is your true nature here now, utterly free, utterly free. This moment here now is utterly free. Your wholeness is here. Right, so you are either in the illusion or you are free. Okay, now let's clarify. Once you know the freedom of your true nature, once you know the awakeness and clarity of being the freedom, being the unlimited, infinite field of being, then there is a little journey that happens deeper and deeper into yourself. And this is a process of elimination. It is a process of eliminating everything that can pull you into distraction. This is a process of refinement. It's a process of refining everything into being. Okay? It's the process of unity. It's the process of coming to know everything as yourself, everything as the true nature. It is the way that life, that is the orchestration of the divine, conspires to bring all of itself into the direct knowing of itself. This is where life is a flow of grace. So then it seems like it's a process in time, but we know that the process in time, we're not trapped by the illusion, right? We're not trapped by the illusion. We know that it's just an illusory play on the surface of life. And the intelligence is working for the clarity of seeing to be seen in everything. It's refining and refining and refining. It's refining. It's tidying up. It's tidying up those patterns of consciousness that can still bring you into identification. But it is to know that that is an appearance of a process. and yet it's actually all happening in consciousness itself. Okay, so if there is a belief in the separate one, if the illusion hasn't been seen through, then the receiving of life, it seems like a progressive journey to keep receiving life, keep receiving life. From this side, there is a wearing down of the egocentric patterns. So we could say that the same work can happen. It will just feel much, much harder. It will feel much, much harder because the suffering hasn't been seen through. The clarity of knowing your true nature hasn't been recognized. So the receiving of life will feel harder. It will feel more challenging, right? But still, the receiving of life is a way that those patterns get humbled, humbled, humbled. Okay. But what we are pointing to, what we are ever pointing to, is that it's not to get trapped in the idea that if there is a belief in separation, if that hasn't been seen through and you feel like it's a progressive path, it is not to buy into that story. This is what's being pointed to. Of course, everything is playing perfectly just as it is, but it's buying into that story that we want to bring attention to. Because if you are buying into the story that you are on a progressive path, then you are overlooking that this moment is the fullness of your freedom, right? You're invested in an idea of a future that is the illusion. This is what we're pointing to. So everything is happening just as it is. There's no question of that. Everything is unfolding according to the very unique nature of each being. So your unfolding is perfectly crafted out of bliss just for you. Nothing is wrong. You can't make it different or better. You can't do it right. You cannot do it wrong. But you can have the, let's say, the ultimate amount of awareness possible in this moment, right? Awareness is your true nature. So the more awareness that is illuminated in this moment, then the more of your grace-filled moment can be illuminated and clear for you. Okay, let's illuminate this more. Wherever you are is perfect. You could not be anywhere other than where you are. It is not to measure yourself. It is not to try to locate yourself, because in truth, you are the locationless being. The knowing of your true nature as not being the person, as being the unlimited field. When this comes in, it's unquestionable, but it can also be tentative to start with. It can come in and the knowing can be here, but it can be what we might say non-abiding. It can not be resting here all the time. It can feel like it comes and goes. It never goes. And then what is happening is that life is conspiring to bring you into a clearer and clearer recognition that even though it seems like your true nature is non-abiding, coming and going, that isn't actually the truth. That's kind of an illusory perspective, that your true nature is ever abiding in itself. It's always here. And then life is conspiring to bring you into the recognition that whatever is happening, and even if you are dealing with a sticky knot, even if you feel like you are pulled in, hooked in to the illusion, that the knowing is a shining awareness that is never lost. And there is a process of ever deepening into this knowing, until at some point, there is a switch, a shift that comes where it cannot be lost. The knowing that it cannot be lost. And then, of course, there's more deepening, and more deepening. Okay, so everything is happening perfectly. Everything is happening perfectly. We could say there is a maturing process happening. Always a maturing, ripening process happening. But no one can measure that. No one can do anything. There's no doer that can be involved in that, right? It is this constant coming to this moment here now, feeling your own presence, recognizing that where is your presence is where awareness is. Awareness is the illuminated light of your knowing. And however bright that is shining in this moment, we could say this, you have a certain quality of choice about, right? You have a choice to turn to the divine, to yourself, or away to yourself in this moment. Of course, it's only ever this moment. But the more you are turned to yourself, you are then the awareness that is shining in the moment, on the moment. And then you can see it's a sanctuary, it's a refuge of your true nature being, where even if you feel a little stuck, the depth of your knowing will carry you into a quality of your awareness where you can receive the moment to the, we could say, the best of your ability in this moment, according to the depth of your consciousness and how open that is to itself. But always, this is not about a doing on the surface. Always, this is about being yourself. Of course, the moment of the switch of absolute clear seeing, this is grace. You cannot do anything about how, when, why this clear seeing comes in. But you can rest in the awareness of being. Everything is conspiring to bring you into the deepest, clearest possibility that we could say your consciousness is capable in this moment of resting in. So, there's nothing to understand in what is being spoken, right? We could even say that the speaking is speaking to so many different patterns of consciousness simultaneously, that all that can happen is that you can receive the resonance of clarity as the spark of recognition of your own knowing. As these words come, what is speaking and what is listening is the same. So you receive yourself, your heart speaking to itself, your consciousness speaking to itself. And then it is about receiving the resonance of your true nature exactly as it is. Here now. Here now. You feel yourself here now. You are everywhere, openness. You are empty of all content. Just to notice that where the mind was here in the beginning, it's not here in the same way anymore. It's not here anymore. Who you are is the infinite field, the eternal, timeless field of being. that you are openness, you are emptiness, you are freedom. Your knowing is alive with itself. It is unquestionable. It is not about measuring or comparing. That is for the mind. It is about being here so fully, meeting in the oneness, in the one heart, being yourself, meeting in the flow of grace that is the effulgent, luminous glory of this moment. The happiness, the joy, the bliss of being. To feel this resonance is to receive the intelligence of your own consciousness that is beyond understanding. It is alive. It is the subtlety of your own consciousness that can perceive this intelligence. It's like a shimmering, glimmering, coded light aliveness. And there's just a quality of knowing. Yes, 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 this. Yeah. It's just alive and beautiful. There's no way to explain this. There's no way to understand this. Who would even need to? But here you are. You are the presence, the stillness, the silence, the freedom, the immaculate divine being. You are the glory, the flow, the aliveness, the wild abandon of the heart that is free. This you are. This you are. You are love. You are love without boundaries, without conditions. You are love that just loves. You don't love anyone or anything. You are just this exploding love that just loves, 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 loves. What do you love? You love this. You love that. You love everything. You love, love, just loves. Joy, joy, joy. Why? Who knows? Just joy. Causeless, no reason. Joy, happiness. No reason. No reason. These are the clues. These are the clues. Peace. Deep, deep peace. Stillness. Peace. Unmoving. Why? How did it come? Who knows? Who cares? Peace is here. Peace. Peace is who you are. Suddenly these words, they land in a way of making sense that is beyond understanding. It's like the code is cracked and you just are. Everything is cracked open and you just are the effulgent being. Love, love, love. God, God, God. Shining glory. God. Shining glory of God. The love of God. God's love. It's the same. It's here. It's just the shining love of this moment. The glory of God is now. The self is God, is now, is the glory, is here, is now, is your true self. The purity, the glory, the bliss. Here, now, you are. You are. So we open the curtains, the veils of illusion. We just part the illusion. We part it. And it cannot be seen. All that can be seen is yourself. because the feeling, the knowing of yourself is so alive and so true and just here. You cannot understand it. You cannot hold on to it. You cannot make sense of it. And yet here it is. Great glory is your true nature. You see from the truth of who you are. You see from the perspective of being the vastness, the perspective that is narrow, that is the me, that is looking and wanting and seeking and needing. It explodes. It's not that the vastness isn't seeing through the eyes that feel like your eyes, but what is seeing through your eyes is the eye that is God, the eye that is the light. The true perspective is that what is seeing through what feels like your eyes is exactly the same one that is seeing at every point at the infinite field. It's no different. So you are seeing from the true perspective that is not limited or contained in any way. You are seeing as the heart, seeing as the true being, seeing as the amness of being. Feel the resonance. Feel the intensity of the focus upon yourself. Feel the magnetic pull into yourself in the alive field. The aliveness is more alive. The presence is alive with its own presence, just being everywhere. And here we are one being, one love, one heart, one truth, one great glory, one divine reality, one holy mountain of shining golden light that is pure Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Nothing to seek for, nothing to look for, nothing to want. You already are. Beyond belief, you are. Unexplainable magnificence, you are. Holy, holy wholeness, you are. The heart knows. The heart knows. Mm. 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 And so, if the eyes have been closed or coming backwards and forwards, just allowing the eyes to very slowly, gently open. As the eyes open, don't let these senses engage and grasp outwards. Rest absorbed in yourself. Let the gaze be very soft and as wide as can be. Don't grasp outwards. Just allow the visual landscape to be taken in. Don't engage the senses. Same with listening. Do not grasp outwards. It's just to receive. Receive. As the aware being, do not shift to sense perception, because as soon as you shift to sense perception, fragmentation starts to happen. So rest absorbed in yourself and do not grasp outwards. Do not grasp outwards in any way. Do not grasp to the future. Do not grasp to the past. Do not grasp to the senses. Do not grasp to give meaning or understanding. It is just to rest as the emptiness, simply aware, simply aware. Rest as the emptiness, the formless. Do not congeal into form. Rest as your infinite, unbounded self. Be aware of the costume. Be aware of the mind and the body. But do not restrict yourself. Do not come into the limited form. Rest as the formless. Rest as the spacious openness that is entirely empty. Wide open heart. Wide open heart. You are. So that opening the eyes doesn't shift anything, because what we're speaking of here is not an experience that comes and goes, right? Life, the mind, the play, that comes and goes, but your true nature does not come and go, always here. So it is to recognize that if it feels like it comes and goes, it's because you are congealing. You are stepping into form and forgetting your formless nature. But it is to rest as the value of emptiness, rest as the value of your true formless nature. And then you are super fluid. You are super fluid. The form looks like form, but it's really formless, right? It's completely free. Completely free. You can put your hand right through the illusion. You're completely translucent in your true nature. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Superfluid flow, superfluid, just alive, formless aliveness, formless aliveness, flowing, light dancing, emptiness dancing, love flowing, never ever congealing. Well, you know, the truth is, the beauty is that as you become more adept in your formless nature, you can congeal, because you know that congealing is not a problem. But as you come to this formless flow, it is to feel the formless flow, feel your smoothness, your flowing nature that's not constricted, restricted by the body in any way. So even though it looks like this is the body moving, it's so much bigger. It's like you move like this, there's a tsunami somewhere in the world, right? Nothing's moving independently of itself, right? It's all one harmonious movement, all one harmonious movement. This is the ocean of bliss, undulating, completely free, deep, deep stillness, dancing on the surface of as waves, right? This is what is happening. Nothing is ever, ever what it seems. Nothing is ever, ever what it seems. It's okay. I'm dancing for you. It's the same. It's one. It's one. Dancing inside, right? We just moving that consciousness, freeing it from all of those sticky places. Yeah, you see? Everyone's starting to sway. That's the beauty. You see, it's all one. It's all one. It's all one. Even if you don't feel like you're moving, you are moving. You are moving. Just as the birds are using their wings, and butterflies, and the ocean, and trees, and flowers. It's all the same. It's life. It's life. You are that life, the eternal life. Life never stops living itself, right? This is the true nature. You are that life. You are that life. This is what we're speaking of. So it's to feel the resonance of just being that life. Yeah, you see? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it looks like on the surface. Life is living itself. You are the unconditioned life, the unconditioned love, flowing, flowing. Coming to know itself, wanting all of itself, but not in a desirous, wanting, needing, but just so pulled into itself, wanting all of itself, because the pull is into wholeness. The pull is into the utter richness. The natural evolutionary pull is to know all of itself, to keep opening and clarifying more and more and more. Mm. Mm. Mm.